So, story time. When I decided not to be the most hated kid in high school, much like middle school, in the summer of 2006, I devised a plan. Okay? Dominate the school, easy. You've got 6 to 7 hours a day to do that. You've got about 30 hours a week to dominate the school. And if you can't take over a corporation or a business or a job, aka a school, like a high school, with 30 hours a week to do it, you're doing something wrong. That's more than enough time. So the school part was easy. Now, by junior year, I had 275 kids in my school wearing shirts that had my damn name on it with a logo, much like the one I'm wearing, but it promoted me at the time, okay? School popularity equaled done. I was homecoming king. School was easy. Now, phase 2 was the bus. The bus is a lot harder because the bus you have to ride twice a day. So if school's easy for you, but that bus ride could be about an hour long and it could be miserable or it could be the time of your life. So you've got to dominate not only the school, but the bus as well. So phase 2 was the bus. And everyone knows in early 2000s, might not be this way anymore because of COVID and exclusion and everyone's equal and all this shit and kids are so sensitive. Everyone knows in the early 2000s, bus politics were the cool kids and the popular kids sat in the back of the bus. And unfortunately, the nerds and the weird kids sat up front and talked to the bus driver. That was their friend, okay? It's unfortunate, but that's just what happened, okay? These are the times. So to start, first day, I knew I had to make a bold move. Because as soon as I get on the bus, I noticed that the popular kids are already in the back. You know how I know? Because they have pillows, blankets, bags, snacks, and a trash can, and everything you need for a small party in the back of that bus as soon as I walk on. And I knew it was on and popping back there. So I made a bold decision and I went 60 to 75% of the way back where the auditions took place and where you most likely got accepted to go the whole 90 to 100%. Okay? So, not in the middle, but not in the back either. But I'm getting there. Just enough to raise ears, but not enough to raise questions. Okay? So eventually I worked my way back there. You know why? Here was my in. The next summer, freshman year, I stuck in that 60 to 75% range, hovering more in the 75% because I knew sophomore year was going to be my move to make. Because that summer, the iPod mini came out. Okay? And I told this story with Paul last week. Go check it out, Paul. Go check out The Call. It's on Patreon. Go check out our Patreon. It's only $1. You cheap fuck. Listen, so I knew that summer I was going to go get everything in my power to get a new iPod mini, and I was going to get a pink one because it was pink like this hoodie, and it was dope. And so I loaded up all my music from BearShare and LimeWire that I could all summer long, and I went in with my iPod when the rest of the kids had either A, rinky-dink little MP3 players, Kodak knows what I'm talking about, or they were still using CD players, okay? And everyone knows on the bus, you can't use a CD player because that shit be skipping every bump, every rock, every pebble that bus runs over. So I was the cool kid with the brand new iPod. And so they immediately accepted me to the back sophomore year. It was a very easy phase 2 for me. Not a lot of people can do it, and not a lot of kids made it that way. When I got back there, we only ever accepted one more person within my 3-year reign of the back of the bus until I graduated. So, these other kids in the back of the bus, we make friends. We're friends. We're not friends in school, though. We only ever see each other a couple of times in school because we're all in different shops and it's in different parts of the building. But that's a good thing because that was easier for me to dominate my part of the school, and they took care of that other part of the school for me because they knew me as a cool kid from the bus, so they could vouch for me while they were over there and I was over here. Easy. Domination. Okay? Anyways, these kids, they weren't as fortunate as some. And so when they invited me to their birthday party, when I tell you, listen, my goal through high school, as most kids, is I was trying to get laid, okay? Don't tell my parents, but it kind of happened. So anyways, when that that goal was also trying to come up in my life, they were like, yo, you should come to my party. I'm going to be 16, or 17, whatever. We're going to have booze. We're going to have drugs. You're going to get laid. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a smash, okay? And I'm like, yo, I got to go. This is it. This is my time. First high school party. I'm going to try to convince my dad to let me spend the night. And if that happens, shit's definitely going down. Because by the next morning, we'll be okay. I'll get dropped off. I'll walk it off. I'll be fine. I'll fake it. And they'll never know a thing. First high school party, success. I'm getting ready, okay? I convinced Dad. I'm taking the bus there. And then that somehow I'm getting home. I think parents are going to drive me. That was probably a lie because that never happened. When I tell you that... When I tell you that they lived in a garage is an understatement. Well, I think that's what it was, honestly. It wasn't, it was not a house. It was not an apartment. It was not anything that kind of resembled one. It was a garage. The floor was concrete. There was no kitchen. There was a fridge where a fridge would be in a garage. And their rooms were separated via curtains. And so, this is what I was experiencing at my first high school party. I slept on the floor in a sleeping bag in a garage. And there were no drugs. There was very little alcohol. No one was getting laid. And we all kind of needed to cuddle up to each other to stay warm that night because it was miserable. And that's how they lived. And so when I tell you that was the first and one of the last times that I ever experienced poverty, I mean, the only thing that it can really you can really describe it as